Now, into the ticket office of Disneyland.
Oh boy, let's do this. Don't think the CIA is going to be trying to hack your second-gen iPod.
I didn't think so. There might have been a lot of illegal music on there. I wouldn't doubt it. But, I mean...
You were supposed to bring death to the flagships, not join them.
Google has found a new way to piss me off.
iTunes is a constant source of embarrassment.
Behind-the-scenes camera crap.
Here, tell us about courage, Phil. Tell us about courage.
I am Nadella. I can't do it anymore without laughing. I was going to do the whole thing.
Welcome, everyone, to the Calling All Platforms podcast. I am your host, Wes, and I'm here with Landon.
Hello.
And Caleb.
Hey.
Hey. We're going to do something a little new today. We're going to actually have a little end of the year surprise. End of the year nominations for a lot of things that we want to talk about.
It's the Calling All Platforms Award Show.
Yay.
Yay! Brought to you by Calling All Platforms.
Yes. Brought to you by three white guys. Oh. Okay. Just
This
for
is
your
gonna be
context, listener.
This is going to be great. So we're going to go ahead and get started with this here. So we got a couple of categories that we've brought up, and then we've all nominated a few, and then had a winner for that us white guys are judging.
Okay. We cast our net wide. You know how this works, listener. You've seen the Oscars.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, I want to say that, listener, if you want to have input and voting privileges to this next year, because this is probably going to be a new thing, you should, join Patreon and get in the Slack, because then you can comment on these things. We can put up some voting for next year instead of just our opinions on things, which, I mean, we do tend to like our own opinions, but it's nice to have other opinions out there as well.
That was
True.
That was so much more charitable than what I was going to say. I was going to say, which, I mean, our opinions are objectively correct, so.
I did have that thought pop into my head, but yes, I changed it a little bit.
Opinions. Wow. Well, let's get into it. So we're going to do this where we're going to kind of go I will go over a category, and then the next person will go to the category, and we'll just kind of go in a circle here until the very end. So I'll go ahead and I'll start. So, worst tech name of the year. We have 3 nominations here. We have the Nothing Ear 2, Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, and really any Sony headphone.
I mean, yeah. That's such a long list.
I mean, listener, I did pull up Sony's headphone website because I wanted to give some examples of headphones that they sell. So there's the very first one listed here is the WF-1000 XM5.
Always hated that name.
That doesn't even tell you what it is, other than
the XM4s,
Right.
the XM3s. That's just such a terrible product name. It's awful.
And what's even better is 2 listings away from that is the WH-1000 XM5s.
What's the difference? Nobody knows.
An F and an H.
I mean, I know, but
yes. So
you can't tell from the name what these products are at all.
You can't. And I mean, it's so bad. And I did find one that I'd found really fun: the Float Run open-ear wireless headphones that look like they both have an ear loop and something that goes around your head. So that's fun.
Yep. And it looks like here, if we can get a drum roll. Do we get a drum roll this time or no?
No, I did not.
No drum roll? Nothing?
We're not.
Give me a
prepared.
Doom shotgun. Can you do that for the winner?
No, that's for the worst
Doom,
tech name of the year.
Wes.
We're not executing them, Wes. We're just making fun of them.
I know, but still. You got to have some news. Come on, you said like Oscars. We got to have something.
Well, no, so it's like the Oscars in that if you talk for too long, we start playing classical music until it gets loud enough to drown you out.
Fair enough, I guess. Okay, so the winner is the Nothing Ear 2. That's the one that we picked out for the worst tech name of the year.
I feel like it's worth noting that despite the fact that we did just list off some really, really terrible Sony headphones, the Nothing, my issue, at least, and I'll admit I was the one who nominated the Nothing Ear 2, is that I have started to hate the name of the company Nothing.
Ugh.
At first, it was a clever joke. I was like, oh, that's hilarious. Their product announcements are just going to be so funny, and that'll just be a great No, nope. Did not last for long, the novelty of that company name. So, yes, all Nothing products are kind of crap names just as a result of that. But the Nothing Ear, in parentheses, 2, still makes it look like you've just got a duplicated file name on your desktop. And I'm never going to... Yeah, it's terrible. I hate it.
Yep.
I mean, that's basically what it is. It's just,
yeah.
They just copied and pasted the Nothing Ear to the Nothing Ear 2. There you go.
That's what we did. All right, Landon, why don't you take the next one?
All right. This next category is Worst Keynote of the Year. Now, listener, you know how much we love our keynotes. And the ones that we nominated for this year were both Apple events, ironically. The first one was the Scary Fast event that happened in October. And then part of a keynote, part of the iPhone, well, I mean, the whole iPhone event was also
the whole
kind
thing,
of
but
blah. But in particular, the Mother Earth skit that they did inside of that keynote is what is nominated here. And the winner of Worst Keynote of the Year was the Scary Fast keynote.
Yep.
And it's basically because it was an email that they turned into a keynote.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was not scary, and it was not particularly fast. It was misrepresentation in every sense of the word.
To be fair, for an Apple keynote, it was kind of fast. It was one of the shorter ones.
An hour and a half is not a fast keynote, regardless.
That could have been an
refuse
email.
to accept that, especially when they didn't actually. It should have been a 10-minute video, like from the very beginning when Johnny Shruji, or whatever his name is, the chip, like silicon chief at Apple, talked about the M3 family. That was great, really interesting. That was the entire keynote. Yep. That was it. It was the only news in that whole thing. And wow, just not good.
Yeah,
not good.
Not fun.
Yep. All right, Caleb, why don't you take the next one?
Okay. Oh, I'm excited for this. We get to round out kind of the bottom end of all of the awards, getting them out of the way early, with the worst platform of the year. Now, here at Calling All Platforms, we're firm believers in the idea that all platforms have their value, but some have more value than others. And we'd like to recognize the ones that really kind of crapped the bed in 2023. So, our nominees for Worst Platform of the Year are PlayStation, the creators of such things as the PlayStation Portal and the more expensive digital edition of the PlayStation 5. For some reason, price just went up. Nobody knows why. And Windows 11, the new Windows 8 / Windows Vista / Windows ME / Windows 95. It just keeps happening. And the winner for Worst Platform of the Year 2023 goes to Windows 11.
Now, so I was the one that put Windows 11 on here, and I wouldn't have, but earlier in the year, Microsoft even not really come out and said that they also feel that was it, but when they say, hey, the features that were on Windows 11, we're going to backdate and put them on our older operating system because no one else is using Windows 11, and we need your data, and you have 10 times the people still using Windows 10 than 11, kind of is a big sign of, oh, we also feel this is a failing platform.
This isn't working out for us.
So that's why I put that one on there. Otherwise, I wouldn't have. I would probably done something else. But
would like to be optimistic about it, but it's looking an awful lot like what happened to Windows 8.
Yeah.
They started backporting features from Windows 8 to Windows 7. You knew Windows 8 was not long for this world.
Yeah. So we were thinking, 11. And then obviously the whole, I don't know if they've pulled back on this. I don't remember reading, but the whole, what is that security thing where you had to have a certain thing on your motherboard to even install Windows 11?
Yeah, you had to have the updated, was it?
I can't remember what it was called.
TPM? Is that the...
Yeah, and I don't think they've...
Something platform module. I can't remember.
So apparently not everybody went to Windows 11.
No.
So yeah, that's why I put that in there. Anyone else have anything on that? Okay, we're going to go ahead and move on here. So this category, biggest sigh of relief of the year. We have one nomination because all three of us. I mean, it's probably easy to guess, but the ABK purchase finally closing. That was quite the relief.
Yes.
Yep.
I mean, it was
Holy
pretty
cow.
bad there. It was a year and
It was like 19 months, wasn't it?
It was
almost 20 months.
It was almost 20 months.
Yep.
So, listener, as we were talking before we started recording, I mentioned how going through this list, I was trying to figure out different things we could add to different categories and whatnot. I went through our show notes for the past year, and I saw one for March of this past year that mentioned how we were thinking that the ABK deal was coming close to an end. And little did we know, it was still 6 months out.
Yep.
So
Oh, man. Yeah. Well, this past week in preparation for our upcoming wish list episode for 2024, which, make sure you stick around for that, listener. That's coming up in a couple of weeks. I listened to my wish list from the beginning of 2023, and I was like, yeah, Microsoft purchasing ABK. I was claiming that as a win in 2022.
yeah.
Oh, wow. I mean, I would still give it to you because it was 3 months after. It was like, hey, we're purchasing this. And I was like, wow.
But it didn't happen until this. Wow. So yeah, that was the biggest collective sigh that we all had. Absolutely.
Because with that, I mean, we all knew that everybody in the tech industry was holding back till this went through. So
please finish.
So yeah. All right. Want to go ahead and take the next category, Landon?
All right. The next category is biggest surprise of the year. And let me just go through the nominees first. So the nominees for this one are Apple announcing RCS support coming next year. The Cybertruck is actually shipping to customers. Google killing Stadia far too early. And the Apple Pencil, and specifically the Apple Pencil USB-C version.
Yes.
Now, surprise of the year also, like some of this is good things, some of this is like what were they thinking type of surprise. And our winner happens to be in the latter of what were they thinking, and that is the Apple Pencil USB-C version. Because why, Apple? Why is this a thing? Why didn't you just update the Apple? What's the nice Apple Pencil? Apple Pencil 2.
Give us the Gen 2.
Give us
Gen
the Apple
1.
Pencil Gen 3 with USB-C and kill the other ones. That's all you need to do.
Yes, this is the pencil in which a multi-trillion-dollar company turned a pencil into its own product category for reasons that none of us can quite understand. That, yes, Apple of the who needs styluses or who wants styluses, famously now launching their own line of styluses. I was stunned. I'm still stunned. Every time I remember that they're selling this thing, I'm surprised. And that's why I think it is the biggest surprise of the year.
You know, the Apple Pencil is turning into the new Apple Mouse.
Oh no. Oh, I should have seen this coming. Apple famously sucks at input devices.
Yes.
That's why their best user experiences all have touch screens. Oh no.
Yeah.
See, and on a side note, the Google Stadia one, we had talked about this before recording, but I think it wasn't the fact that Google killed Stadia. It was the fact of how fast it was killed.
Yes. None of us were
That's-
surprised that Stadia died, but we were surprised that it happened this year. We thought for sure that we were going to give it at least like 7 years, maybe.
And
It
to
was
think
almost
if they would have
3
kept
years.
it alive, if they would have kept it
Almost 3
alive,
years.
they may have had a deal with Activision Blizzard. Just,
Yep.
But yeah. So, anything else on these categories?
Nope.
Caleb, you want to take the next one?
Oh, absolutely. I'm so excited for this. Listener, there is a lot of failure in the tech space. And so we thought we would take this opportunity to celebrate those things in the tech sphere that managed to take failure and turn it into something good, to pull a win out of the jaws of defeat. And so we're presenting the very first Cyberpunk 2077 Comeback of the Year Award. And the nominees for this are Intel's Arc GPUs, Halo Infinite, and Cyberpunk 2077. And as great of a comeback as Halo Infinite has made in terms of their player count, and as great of a comeback as Intel Arc GPUs have made, being able to like actually run games and stuff now, which is pretty nifty. I think that you probably guessed that the winner was going to be Cyberpunk 2077. Yep. We just could not think of a comeback in the history of tech quite as stark as taking the most maligned game of 2021. Was that when Cyberpunk 2077 came out?
Oh,
The most maligned game from a few years ago and turning it into a game that was genuinely loved by critics and players alike. How? Lots of work, lots of effort. Kudos to the developers at CD Projekt Red, not the production people at CD Projekt Red, because they're the ones that released the game about 3 years too early. But good job, developers. You made a good game. It just took you a while to get there. So,
And we got to give credit where credit is due. This award is what, sparked the whole idea of having our own awards show.
this is true.
If you listen to last week's episode, you'll know what I mean.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, we'll move on to the next one. Best cross-platform product of the year. Obviously, we got to have this category because of podcasts.
It's
on
our
all
mission
platforms.
statement.
It's our
Cross-platform.
So we have 2 nominees this year. So the first nominee we have is the Xbox Game Pass. Well, yeah, it is Xbox. I was going to say Game Pass, but Game Pass, I guess.
However they're branding it these days.
However, and iFixit. Those are the 2. And listener, we have decided we're going to give this one to Game Pass. Couple reasonings. One is it's actually pretty much on everything except, okay, you could probably get it on your Switch if you do some hackery. You could probably get it on your PlayStation if you do some hackery. Yes.
That's true. The
But-
Switch being technically an Android-powered console in most ways, you
Yes.
probably could figure out how to get Game Pass on there.
Yes. But where I guess we're going legit ways, and you just go to a store and download it, or because of NVIDIA's GeForce Now.
Yep.
Game Pass and adding your Game Pass things to the library and all that being there with being on just televisions itself, and also being on the Steam Deck, being on just everything nowadays. I mean, it's crazy.
It was just a couple of weeks ago that Game Pass was added to GeForce Now, and that kind of pushed it over into the last few holdouts, where it was difficult unless you were paying for Game Pass Ultimate and had all the cloud streaming stuff enabled. It was very difficult to get it on, like, say, Mac OS or Linux or something like that. But now that GeForce Now is available with that stuff, you don't even have to pay extra. So long as you're okay with your game sessions being limited to an hour, you can just use GeForce Now, play on Mac OS, on Linux. You can put it on your Steam Deck, and it's available just about everywhere. And Microsoft has been doing a lot of work to push Game Pass into as many corners as they can. They don't care what you're playing on. They just want you to play. And that's pretty cool. iFixit is a good nominee as well. They're the runner-up because of the partnerships that they've been announcing with various hardware manufacturers to support their, ability to repair and support their devices for users at home. And the more of that we can get in the world, the better things are going to be. So it's a good work, iFixit. You're doing the Lord's work out there, but Game Pass is they just snuck in there.
It's going to be interesting this next year with ABK closing and all this. I mean, there's going to be quite the news, I feel, with Game Pass. So, okay, let's move on to the next one. Landon, take her away.
All right. This next category is Phone of the Year. Now, this list is probably going to be kind of a surprise to some people out there, but the nominees are as follows. The Moto Razr, not the Moto Razr Plus, but the minus one, the cheaper of the two. The OnePlus Open, and of course, Caleb had to throw this one in there. The iPhone 13 mini, which did not come out this year, did not come out last year. It actually came out 2 years ago. And
listen, they gave me edit privileges to the Google Doc, and this is what happens.
This is what happens when we allow Caleb to do things. But the winner of Phone of the Year for the Calling All Platforms Podcast Awards is the Moto Razr. And the main reason behind this is not because of the high-end technology that is in this phone, not because it's an amazing user experience, doesn't have the best camera out there, It's just what it is. I mean, there is some good technology being a flip phone style foldable.
Yep.
But it's mainly the price. This was launched at $700, which is
a good price.
A really good price for the type of phone that you're getting. The biggest benefit, though, is like when it was launched, it was $700 MSRP. Motorola was selling it for $600 that first month of it being available.
Currently, even better deal.
Yes, even better deal. And currently, you can get this phone for $500, which is a phenomenal deal.
Oh, that's great.
Getting a phone that is able to flip in half to be basically a 3-inch square device and then open up to a 6-inch screen is just really cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that is why the Moto Razr is our phone of the year.
Yep. Kudos to the Moto Razr for bringing folding screens to the masses, because that's really what this represents.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The OnePlus Open is a great runner-up because it is a showcase for the best technology that you can get in a phone.
Yeah.
It's got it all. The really good cameras, really awesome display, all the best processing that you can get, and it's in a very expensive device because it is the best of all of the above.
Yeah.
But it's impressive.
Yep. And I nominated the OnePlus Open partially because of all the things Caleb just said, but also because if you were to, combine a Samsung Fold and the Pixel Fold, you get a OnePlus Open because it's kind of in between when it comes to the screen size on the inside and outside of the phone. And it's got all the high-end specs as the other two do, which is really nice. So, yes, that's why it was nominated, because it's pushing that category in a great direction.
Yep. Okay. Shall we move to the next one? I think this one is definitely good for Caleb on this one. The next one.
Yeah. Listener, we're a technology podcast. I don't know if you've noticed.
What?
If it came through at all. We wanted to recognize outstanding performance and outstanding innovation in the realm of tech. So this is everything. This is laptops. This is TVs. This is game consoles. This is basically everything other than phones. Phones is a separate category because they hold such an intimate place in people's lives. But in terms of general tech, we've got the tech of the year. This is the tech item that we really loved this year. And we actually only have one nominee, and that is the Steam Deck OLED. Now, listener, it's probably no secret to anybody who has listened to more than 1 or 2 episodes of this podcast that I love me a Steam Deck. I don't actually own one. I have used one, and I am gonna buy one. And the release of the Steam Deck OLED was the thing that sealed this. When Valve launched the Steam Deck last year, it was an inexpensive, surprisingly powerful, and shockingly usable device that had some rough edges, right? It was impressive, but everyone was like, this isn't quite there yet. Valve's support of the Steam Deck over the past year has been exemplary, constantly pushing software updates that improve the functionality of the device, the efficiency with which it runs, and the number of games that are supported, despite the fact that it's on a Linux operating system, to the point that you can now basically try and launch pretty much any PC game on the thing, and like 90% of the time, it's gonna work to the extent that it is playable, at least, even if it's not like super buttery smooth or anything like that. So it was an impressive device already. And then, just a couple of months ago, Valve launched the OLED version, which has a much higher quality, slightly larger display, a slightly larger battery that increases the battery life by like 45 minutes to an hour, depending on the use case.
That's a lot.
A whole bunch of minor improvements to like the joysticks and button feel and stuff like that. All of this while increasing the storage capacity of each price point and not raising any of the prices except for the one in the middle. They had 3 pricing tiers. The one in the middle went up by $50. The 2 at either end stayed the same. This is hands down, and this is on top of Valve being one of the companies that has been partnering with iFixit to make iFixit one of the best cross-platform experiences of the year. You can repair your Steam Deck OLED using guides and products that are supported by Valve in partnership with iFixit. So it's already just been one of the best pieces of tech, and Valve's OLED update absolutely stomps on all of the other competition. You can get more powerful handheld computers. You can get Windows-powered handheld computers that have better game compatibility and stuff like that, and I frankly just don't care. The Steam Deck is, from a holistic perspective, better. And cheaper than most of them, too. So, good job, Valve. Steam Deck OLED is our tech of the year.
Yeah, and it wasn't just the tech itself, but like you said, the highlight was the servicing behind it, everything they improved on. It wasn't just a release and have fun. We don't care. Thanks for giving us however much money. Like they've continued to improve, and there's nothing better that we could think of that has that. You know, there may have been some other things that came out, but just didn't hit like this. So yeah. Okay. Unless Landon, do you have anything else you want to say about the Steam Deck?
No. I mean, I could say, like, I mentioned this before, but if I were to buy some sort of gaming device other than a Switch, because that's just my type of gaming, other than a Switch, it would be a Steam Deck because of what Caleb said, what it can do, the power that you get in such a small device, and the portability of it is phenomenal, and the price is fantastic as well.
Yeah, and all the things you can do with it. Like, you wouldn't have to buy so many games. Like, just subscribe to a subscription to it, to Steam, to add your Game Pass games to it. However, with NVIDIA, like, there's so much you could do. Like, it's crazy. So, okay. We'll go ahead and move on. We have a category called Game of the Year. So, we have 2 nominations. 1, Baldur's Gate 3. And 2, Hogwarts Legacy. And the winner for this is Crash Team Racing. I'm just kidding. Is Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, man. I was going to say that didn't come out this year, but they did re-release that this year, didn't they?
They did. Yep.
Oh, man.
So this was an interesting one. So Caleb and I, actually, I remember, you said you didn't play Baldur's Gate.
I have not played Baldur's Gate 3 yet.
Neither have I.
That is that is because I'm still playing Divinity Original Sin 2. Eventually, I will finish that.
Right. But I think we had a discussion about like what really put an impact on the industry this year and everything. And you know, both of us not playing the game itself, but a lot of things, both Baldur's Gate 3 as well as Hogwarts Legacy when it came out. Okay, but the thing what's interesting about these games is they're not on a subscription service. So when I decided to say Hogwarts Legacy, I still see people talking about Hogwarts and enjoying it, even on friends lists on all platforms and asking about it. And that's why I nominated Hogwarts, just for that. Like I haven't played it, but it's not on a subscription thing. I know many friends have, but Baldur's Gate just still had that impact of role playing, all the things you can do, and the D&D. I can't remember what version.
It's based on 5th edition. I'm pretty sure.
Is it 5th? Okay, and just the stuff that you can do, it was crazy.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 definitely takes Game of the Year simply for the impact and the influence that it has had on the cultural zeitgeist of the moment. Right?
Yep.
It's made its waves in the gaming industry, but regardless of that, it is everywhere online. Mm-hmm. And everybody who has played it, this game has gotten more people to play Dungeons and Dragons than Wizards of the Coast ever did. Like,
true.
Like, this single game is responsible for more D&D than anything that has come before. It has made such an impact in people's individual lives with the depth of like meaningful story that is available for you to interact with and personalize and customize. Mm-hmm. Everybody's experience in Baldur's Gate 3 is going to be notably different than everybody else's, pretty much. And that is a really incredible achievement. On top of that, they released the game after a fairly extensive early access period in a basically finished state. There were bugs, sure, but nothing game-breaking, nothing that would have, tainted the experience for those early players when version 1.0 launched. And the overall reaction of consumers, of gamers to this game was so positive that all of the hacky, obnoxious developers got on Twitter to whine about how it was making them look bad because it was good. And now people are going to expect our games to be good. And
gosh, that was so cringe. Like, really. Simply by being good enough to make all of the other game developers, looking at you, Ubisoft, sit up and take notice of this is what people actually want to play, despite the fact that, I don't know, Elden Ring didn't do that. Freaking Breath of the Wild didn't do that. Mm-hmm. Like, why are you people still fighting this? What's also crazy about this, like something else to note, is I had mentioned that it's not on a streaming service, which means people have bought this game outright, and I don't remember any sales. So they released it. It was on PC only first. It sold tremendously. I can't remember the number. Then they released it on PlayStation, which sold just about the same, same. Then right after the Game Awards, just this month, like the beginning of this month, they released it on Xbox, not in the streaming service, but alone. It is the top bought thing on every one of these platforms without a streaming service. Like to say, oh, I got Game Pass or I got PlayStation Plus or Nvidia, so it's in that node. They have bought this out full. This is how big. Like a lot of games don't do that. Like a lot of people are like, oh, we'll wait to come out on Game Pass. No, people bought it. Day one, as soon as it was there, they bought it.
It's been a very special thing to see go down, and then that's why it's Game of the Year. Yeah, we haven't played it, but I don't think you can really argue with the impact that it's had.
No. So, Landon, do you have anything to say? I just want to make sure you get your turn, okay?
I mean, I did try to think of something for this category.
Super Mario Run.
Well, that's the thing. None of the games that I play came out this year. So, I mean, I could have nominated some Netflix game or something stupid like that.
That's what I'm saying. No, but think about this. Next year, all these developers that went to Netflix Gaming, Joseph Staten, all these people, there's going to be some big games coming to Netflix. We're going to need you to subscribe.
Well, I don't have a Netflix,
Netflix.
account, so I can't.
That's
do
why I
that.
said subscribe
Oh,
and make this happen.
right.
Listen, I built up my backlog for Game Pass. Listen, you need to support this podcast like the rest of us. Okay? Even Caleb has Game Pass. Okay, Landon, the one that has is going to get a Steam Deck.
Wow.
Caleb, we need
If
a
you
new
could only-
Microsoft guy.
If only you could see the hate. in his
Listener,
eyes.
if you're
Oh,
out
my
there and
gosh.
you're wanting to, start a podcast for some reason, we're in the market for a new Microsoft fan.
You want to cover Windows for us? We could use it. Oh man.
One of the requirements, though, is you need to be a supplier of cheese as well.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. We need cheese
We need
around
cheese,
here.
please. Cheese and butter, things, all sorts of stuff. Anyway, we're not here to talk about cheese and butter. We're here with nominations and games of the year. Okay, so we have one last one, but who should have this one? Should we give it to Landon or should we give it to Caleb?
No, it's. I mean, I am next in the lineup, but no, this has to go to Caleb.
I'm going to say this might have to go to Caleb. One, because not because Landon said to, but because I'm the host and I have
Sure.
that type
Yeah,
of
that's fine.
power. And
Totally.
and Landon's just talking crap right now. So,
Listener, you may be wondering right now why you haven't heard Wes this entire podcast. Because I edited him out.
that's what it is. You just hear, so I can say whatever I want. La la la. No. Okay, here we go. Caleb, take the last category.
I've got this, listener. We're going to finish off with the best as usual. We have saved the best for last. This category is the best Doom of the year. Now, obviously, this category exists as our opportunity to celebrate the best people on the internet, otherwise known as Doom modders modders of the 1992 extremely prolific first-person shooter. The nominees are Doom displayed and played on Lego bricks, Doom on a keycap, and Doom Venturous, which is basically just an Indiana Jones mod of Doom. And the winner of the Calling All Platforms Doom of the Year is Doom displayed and played on Lego bricks. The reason we went for this one, because honestly, Doom on a keycap just rolls off the tongue so much better, and that would have been mint. But it's because this project has been in the run-up for literally years, and we have been following along the whole time on this podcast. We first saw this guy, the modder who was responsible for this, when he was messing around with getting the thing to run on, I can't remember the name of it. It's basically just a little tiny keychain-sized Raspberry Pi Pico powered emulator, and he got Doom running on that thing, and that was 2, maybe 3 years ago. It's been a while, and we were all very impressed. And then time passes, he comes up with a new project. He's got Doom running on a display that is embedded, tiny little OLED display that's literally 48 pixels embedded inside of one of the slanted Lego bricks. And that's just cool as snot. Not long after, somebody managed to get Doom running on an even smaller microcontroller powered. This one's the size of a thumbnail, little tiny frickin' computer that you can emulate Doom on. Somebody managed to get it running on that. And then the original dude comes back and puts it all together with the Lego display and a little tiny controller, computer, built into a Lego brick or embedded in a Lego brick, and then capacitive touchpads on a Lego brick that you use to literally control the game that is running right there. Only thing that was connected to it from the outside was power. And that is just, man, if there is a better example of human ingenuity anywhere in the world, I can't think of it. This is just peak humanity right here.
Right there. Oh man, I would have to agree. Just how cool is this? Like that's it. That's just like, how cool is that?
It's incredible. I love it.
After 30 years of Doom, it's on a Lego brick. So cool.
That's
Finally,
how you know you've made it.
finally, Lego minifigs have the ability to play Doom.
Yep. Oh. But that is the last category, and that is our very last part of the episode for our Calling All Platforms game or yearly. What are we calling it? I can't remember.
The Calling All Platforms Award Show.
There we go.
That's it. It's the
That's
Calling
hard
All
to-
Platforms Award Show.
That's hard for me to say, apparently. So
I
yeah.
just named it.
Thank you. Calling All Platforms Reward Show. All right, dear listener. We appreciate you listening. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Unless Landon has one more thing.
You know, I really should have come up with something.
That actually would have been hilarious
But-
if you just sprung another
I know.
category on us at the very end.
Oh, I should have had like the best one more thing for the year, but I don't even have that, unfortunately. So,
We say best host and we give it to Caleb. How's that?
Hey.
well, definitely wouldn't go to you.
Why
Not
not?
after tonight.
Not after tonight, that's for sure.
Look, all you got to do is subscribe to Netflix and support the podcast, okay?
Yep.
Oh dear.
Guess he doesn't like that.
Somebody's, Wes, you're lucky that we're recording remotely these days, because otherwise you might have been strangled by this point.
It's just a drumstick. Whack!
He's
Wes
got
is gone
drumsticks
now.
right there. I can see them.
Wes is gone now. He had to run out the door, or he's knocked out. I don't know what happened. Anyway. All right, dear listener. We appreciate you listening. You can get a hold of us if you want to on our social media platforms, as well as callingallplatforms.com. Check out any of our videos on YouTube. All right, dear listener. Have a good week.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Calling All Platforms is a production of Supporter Sound Studios. To learn more about how you can support the podcast, go to www.patreon.com/callingallplatforms.